So today we're doing a deep dive into something that, on the surface, just sounds so simple. It's the Aurora DXE-122A-DS, a 1x2 HDMI 4K splitter.
Right. One in, two out.
Exactly. Well, we're going to look at the product sheet and figure out why this tiny box that just splits a signal is actually, well, a pretty complex piece of professional gear.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I think we need to set the scene right away. This is not for hooking up a second TV in your living room.
Okay.
We're talking about broadcast facilities, big digital signs, high-stakes conference rooms, places where it absolutely has to work every single time. It's all about compliance and control.
All right, so let's jump into that. The first thing that stands out is the speed. It says it supports full 4K 2K at 60 hertz. What does that actually demand from a device like this?
It demands just a massive amount of throughput. The spec sheet lists 18 gigabits per second of video bandwidth.
18 gigabits. Can you put that into perspective for us?
Yeah, so to move 18 gigabits of data every second, that's like sending a full HD Blu-ray movie's worth of information, every 3 seconds or so? It's a fire hose of data.
Wow.
And to handle that, you need a 600 megahertz frequency range. That's what lets you push through all the extras like HDMI 2.0A, deep color, 3D, all those specialized color formats.
And it's not just video. The audio support is comprehensive too. DTS-HD master audio, Dolby True HD. Basically, all the lossless high-end formats are covered.
Correct. But getting a perfect signal is really only half the story. The real magic, and where this thing earns its pro credentials, is in what's called EDID management.
EDID. Okay, so explain that. If I just plug in two different monitors, one a normal splitter, just handle that for me. What kind of disaster is this feature preventing?
That is the perfect question, because that's the disaster right there. Most simple splitters default to let's call it the lowest common denominator.
Oh.
So EDID extended display identification data, it's like a digital handshake. Your source, say laptop, asks the screen, who are you, what can you do? Now imagine you have a brand new 4K display and an older 1080p monitor. The simple splitter lets them both talk to the laptop, and the laptop gets confused. It sees the 1080p screen and throttles itself down to send a 1080p signal to both screens to be safe.
So your expensive top-of-the-line 4K display is suddenly being dragged down by the weakest link in the chain.
Precisely. And that's where the customizable ED comes in. It's the fix. You can program this splitter to lie, essentially.
Right.
It tells the source, hey, don't worry, I am a 4K 60 hertz display, period.
Right, regardless of what's actually plugged into that second port.
Exactly. The source then sends out its best 4K signal, and the splitter takes on the job of intelligently downscaling it for the 1080p screen. That's what makes it an intelligent part of the network, not just a dumb cable.
And that intelligence seems built to last, too. I'm seeing it's HDCP 1.4 and 2.2 compliant. That HDCP 2.2 part is a big deal, right? For avoiding those black screens with protected content.
Oh, it's a huge deal. It means you won't get locked out of showing a protected stream or Blu-ray in a conference room, which is a classic, embarrassing point of failure.
And there's a little mini USB port here. Is that just for power?
No, that's for firmware updates.
Yeah.
And crucially, for loading those custom ED profiles. It's all about future-proofing and control.
Okay, let's talk about the physical side of things. For the people who actually have to install this, size matters. And this thing is tiny. It says 100 by 70 by 11 millimeters. It's thinner than a phone.
Mm-hmm. And look at the design. All the ports, HDMI and power, are on the same side.
Which makes cable management so much cleaner when you're trying to tuck it behind a display.
For sure. But this does bring up, the reality of physics.
Mm-hmm.
Even with all this amazing signaling, your cables still matter.
What are the limits?
The specs are honest about it. They say 4K videos really only supported up to about 7.5 meters. You go much further than that, and you're going to see problems, no matter how good the splitter is.
And for the people buying these in bulk, there's a couple of business details here. It's listed as TA compliant and tariff free.
Yeah, and that TA status is critical for any kind of government or large-scale enterprise purchasing. It basically makes it pre-approved and cost-effective for those big AV rollouts.
So the takeaway here really is that this isn't just a splitter. It's a tiny 18 gigabit per second control center for managing really complex 4K signals.
It's a negotiation bot. That's what it is. It manages the conversation between your devices so you don't have to.
So that leads to a final thought for everyone listening. If this much intent engineering, all this frequency management and custom EDID negotiation is needed just to send one signal to two different screens,
what kind of complex, totally silent negotiations are happening behind the scenes every single time you just plug a simple HDMI cable into your TV at home?